The not so secret about being confident. Hi, welcome to Beyond Mind. Over the time period that I've been creating content or that I've interacted with people on a deeper level, there's always this conversation about confidence, and there's always the aspect of, man, you're so confident. Man, you are doing this. You were so confident. Man, you stood and spoke in front of people. You are so confident. And it's the conversation always revolves around, man, I could do so much. I'm so talented, but I'm not as confident. And so I was like, let me dive into that. The internet defines confidence, and I'm gonna read it for you as, feeling sure of yourself and your abilities, not in an arrogant way, but in a realistic, secure way. Confidence isn't about feeling superior to others. It's a quiet inner knowledge that you're capable. And so confident people feel secure rather than insecure. There's a very common word that repeats itself here, and that is feeling. The feeling secure, the feeling capable in your abilities, the feeling of belief. There's a very common word here, the feeling. Many a times people think simply because you did this, you were confident. Most of the time, people are just extroverts or they're reacting. The idea here is the feeling of being confident. When I was reading this, the question was, we all know that feelings change, right? So how then do I make sure this feeling doesn't change in the long run? When I joined high school, I was not confident at all. I was trying to fit in, which is what everyone does. I was trying to roll with the cool kids. I was trying to dress in a certain way. I was trying to speak in a certain way. I was trying to be someone that I am not, even though I didn't understand who I am in the beginning. But I remember somewhere after I'd gotten tired of how I was living, it sounds like I'd lived for 30 years. After I'd gotten tired of all the vanity, I decided, man, I need to get a hold of myself. And this was around my third year, Form 3. And I was like, I need to just gain a sense of purpose. And I remember going down on my knees and praying. And I cried that night. And I was like, Lord, I don't know how to do what's right, but I definitely know what is wrong. I was so poetic. And I was like, man, I just need you right now to help me and just take me by your wing and help me do everything that is in accordance with your will, so that everything that I'm doing, I can always ask myself, man, if my dad was here, would I be doing this? The dad attachment was the fact that I believe my parents are growing and guiding me up to be the person that they would admire. So they definitely want right for me. So I always ask myself that question. I was always asking myself that question. So I remember making that prayer and deciding to change very intentionally. Suddenly, I had a self-awareness. And that's a very key word, self-awareness. I was walking towards the person that I was trying to be. I want you to understand that sometimes this is an option, walking towards the person that you're trying to be. There's always the narrative that, no, just be yourself. It's okay to be yourself now, but if you're not proud of who you are right now, you can always walk towards the person that you want to be. And I think that's one of the most fair things about the unfair life that we live, is that you have an option of walking towards the person that you want to be or you don't want to be. You can do that without knowing that you're deteriorating yourself. So you have the option of walking towards the person that you want to be. That's what I started doing. And immediately I had this self-awareness. I've always thought of self-awareness as seeing yourself from a third eye. Like there's this character called Kevin. What is he trying to do? What is his motivation? Where is he trying to head? Suddenly, I was so focused on the basic things like reading, doing well in class, being neat, being clean, which is something that I still try. Like my nails are always done, If you're watching on YouTube, I'm trying to show you my nails. Like, just trying to make sure I'm neat and I'm clean. Those are very small things, but they're things that you ordinarily are a no-brainer. But when you start doing them intentionally, you're like, do I smell good? Do I look good? Is my skin looking good? Am I taking care of myself? Am I drinking enough water? Am I reading enough books? Those were the questions that I was trying to ask myself and trying to live intentionally. Immediately, there was a self-awareness. And there's something about self-awareness and living towards something, like having a higher sense of purpose than yourself, that makes discomfort comfortable. Now, I won't lie to you, the pressure didn't go away. There was still pressure. The bullying didn't go away. There was still bullying, whether it was verbal or otherwise. There was still, the discouragement. There were still the same people in the same environment. I was just trying to live a higher sense. I was trying to live towards a higher sense than myself. So, because of the self-awareness bit, it was easier to go through these things perceiving them as just noise. Previously, if I really saw a gang that I'd love to be acquainted with or be part of a clique, I would do everything to make sure I'm part of the clique. Now with the self-awareness, it was like, that's a waste of time, because these guys, first of all, they are always out on break. I can use that time to study. They're always out after school. I can use that time to go home, freshen up and study. So everything was lessened to the point where it was so trivial. Some of the things that we were doing in school that was such a big deal previously, for me, I'd look at it and laugh. And that's the other point. Awareness gives you a different perspective. And that was beautiful. But remember that confidence can be short-lived. And I remember sometimes I'd feel very low because I'm like, okay, fine, today I woke up with the confidence and the boost, and then someone would say something. Bro, you're trying. I remember one time one of my classmates looked at me and said, bro, these days you're so boring. Like, there was a time you're so cool, these days you're so boring. As a social human being, it broke me down to some extent. It made me feel some type of way. And I remember going back to my corner and sort of asking myself, am I doing the right thing? Am I too uptight? To some extent, I was too uptight. That's a story for another episode. But I was very rigid. I was very focused on certain things. I was disciplined. I was doing, and I think that helped me, served me well at that time, before I was able to become flexible and still, become cool, but still be disciplined and self-aware and sort of have my confidence in check. But one thing it did, I remember, I immediately started topping my class. I was among the top 5. Let me not say top. I was among the top 5. I remember at some point I became number 3. There was a time in that very school I was second last in my class. So it did very beautiful things. Started topping my class. Became a class prefect. Became a library prefect. I was giving speeches all over that school. I was going on debates. My confidence level. Why? Because of awareness. I was working towards a higher vision than myself. It was like, this high school thing is so temporary. We are building ourselves for the next chapter. We are looking towards the next. So what can I do now to make sure that I'm going towards the next? That everything that I'm doing, is it setting me up towards that? That was the beauty about self-awareness. But there were days I'd wake up and not feel great, because as we have established, confidence is a feeling. And I'd read that again. Confidence means feeling sure of yourself and your abilities. Feelings don't last long, my friends. They come, they go. Today you wake up, someone says you look beautiful, you feel confident. Tomorrow no one says anything, you have your head low again. So I realized there are things that had to be repetitive in my life for my confidence to always be in check. Hence why I build habits. If you have read The Atomic Habits, it's a beautiful book that I have somewhere here. There is a part that says this: your actions eventually build your habits. Your habits eventually build your identity. So it's always action, habits, identity. If you repeat it enough, then it will transmute into these 3 forms. I had to build habits that would formulate my identity eventually. The habits helped me, and every morning I'd wake up, shower, cold water, work out. By the time I'm getting out of that room, like, I did something y'all didn't do, and I feel great about it, So it was these little things that bolstered my confidence. Making sure I'm neat, making sure I wake up, I feel good. I've read a book, I've read like 20 pages. I'm coming to talk to you guys about money. Nimesoma pale psychology of money. I'm like, damn, y'all don't know about nothing. It was always having that edge. And sometimes it's not even having the edge, it's feeling, because confidence is about feelings. Feeling like you have an edge, because that boosts your confidence to now your reactions. Now, when people say, man, you are giving a speech, you're so confident, it's because you felt this boost and it translated to your actions. So whatever you were doing doesn't mean that you're confident. It just means that you're doing it. But confidence is a boost towards doing whatever you have to do, because you have self-awareness, because your perspective is enriched. So self-awareness is the secret, the not so secret about being confident. Once you can able to see yourself, beyond your environment, beyond your peers, beyond everything, and it's like when you know your own narrative. It's like when you know your own narrative, you can die with it. It precedes everything. And that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much. I hope that helps you. That is from my own point of view. You may have other ways of being confident that is beyond what I've shared with you. Please feel free to write it down in the comment section. Join my Discord community, by the way. We have a Discord community, so we can always chat there. We can always talk. Every link is just down below. If you're watching from YouTube, I'm putting on a beautiful merchandise. The Minders community. It's a safe space built through words. Warning, these words might feel like a really long, warm cuddle. That's what we do. So if you want to grab your merchandise, again, there's a link to my website where you can check it out. We also had a live event that went down on May 21st. You can check out that recording because we didn't want you guys to miss out. There were guys outside the country who couldn't make it. There were guys who were there and still want to rewatch it. You can watch that. Before I leave, I want to say something that I realized with all this confidence thing. Apart from topping my class, starting to win awards, giving speeches, I realized that I set a precedence in my relationships. Now, there's something that I started saying. I always wanted to fit in, but something took a turn. Fine, I lost some friends, and that was okay because for me, my vision was way bigger than that. But I realized even my relationships changed in such that I was confident talking to people and being in relationships and still being part of the gang, but not feeling the urge to fit in. And I want to talk about that in our next episode. Now we know about confidence, but what is it about fighting the urge to fit in regardless of whoever you're interacting with, and in fact being confident enough to go there, as weird as you are, as unique as you are, and set a precedent such that people look at you and drop dead. They respect you from the get-go. In fact, they try to be like you. So that's in my next episode, Fighting the Urge to Fit In. Be sure to check that out whenever it drops. Follow me on Insta, TikTok, Facebook, wherever. Engage me on my Discord. Again, we have a link down below. Discord is just like WhatsApp group that we can all share ideas and talk, and I'll be there personally to engage you. Until next time, my friends, bye-bye.